Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So this past month, something happened that made me realize that it's often not a life circumstance or an event that I dislike. It's often the change that I dislike the most. So for over a month, every morning I've been wake up feeling completely stuffed, no appetite. Often I go most of the day without an appetite. I was recovering from long COVID. And when I first lost my appetite, I really hated life. I was lonely. I felt like I had lost a friend, and I felt like doors had completely jammed up. So, for example, I had a favorite routine, favorite meal, and even a favorite restaurant. And it's hard enough for me to eat out in public because of dietary restrictions. I often have to say no to various foods at the office, at like go to a game meetup, and it's hard enough for me to find food, and then you throw loss of appetite on that. It isolated me a lot. But you know what? Weeks went by, and I started to enjoy that lifestyle. I started to enjoy not being bothered by food cravings in the middle of the day. I was teaching at a tutoring center. I've since left the tutoring center, but I would often get a shift that was 3, 4 hours. I work at a community college. I have two classes that are each 2 hours, and I'm not having to worry about when I can get out to get my meal. I really like that part, and I started to flow into a new routine, and all was well again. And then I recovered from the long COVID, the loss of appetite, and it threw my routine into chaos again. Because today, right now, I'm recording this at 10 a.m. And I wake up with an appetite. I'm trying to fast today, obviously, but I woke up with an appetite. And now I actually have to think about how food fits into my workday. And eventually, I'll likely figure it out until I lose my appetite again, and then I'll have to. and I've never, even when we were locking down during COVID, I never really disliked the lockdown. I only disliked going into lockdown. You know what else I disliked? When we reopened. And I just get myself too fluid into a routine that any sort of change has a tendency to throw stuff into chaos. But this long COVID situation made me realize that, and it was very reminiscent of when we first reopened. It wasn't reopening that I disliked. It was the differential from going from lockdown into reopening. I guarantee if we were to lock down today again because of another problem, right? Maybe oil prices are going up too high and people want to work remotely. I guarantee that will be a big shock into the system until I start to adjust to it again. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.